All right. Okay, here come people. I always get so nervous when it just says there's the two of us in there. Like,
Yeah.
wrong. Or did we
It's a
choose the wrong
webinar
time?
for
We started
just
the wrong
us two.
time. Just us two, which would be fun.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, totally.
oh, well, welcome. Oops, my slide got pushed. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to day 4. Final day. It's crazy. We're really excited, but we are starting to feel like Haley and I were just like, this has been a lot, but a lot of fun. It's just so much energy because it's so much fun, It's
Right.
really
Yeah.
so much. But this webinar I love, and I know Haley loves too. It's one of your
Me
faves,
too.
isn't it, Haley?
It is one of my faves. Yes.
And
It is my favorite.
all-inclusive. Yeah, I mean, because all-inclusive is so good. And we did, I think I was talking about, I can't remember one of these sessions, I think I was talking about this, that we did a Travefy survey. So we did an annual user survey and found that the most common type of trip agents in Travefy are selling is all-inclusive, like by a long shot. It was a lot. So
yeah,
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this one is going to be very well needed. And it looks like there's a lot of people coming in. But as people are filtering through, I will just start here and just welcome you to this all-inclusive itinerary and proposal webinar with Haley. It's going to be a lot of fun. Great way to kick off the last day, which is just insane. It's gone really fast, but really fun. But hopefully you've been joining us for other ones. But if you haven't, you can get training camp certified. So you can get certified if you've watched 5 or more sessions, which I guarantee everyone on here is probably at that. But if you're not, there still is opportunity. We do have, so we have 4 today, but you can go back and if you want to watch a recording. The thing about that, the recording, I know we get this question a lot, is with the recording, you can always watch that. And I'll explain where you can catch that and everything. But the thing is, though, about the recording is that you'll just want to make sure you watch it like by the end of tomorrow, because then we'll start pulling data. Because if it's around tomorrow, well, most likely we'll be able to see that you watched it because you have to log in or you have to sign up to view it. But if it's after that, so if it's over the weekend, just shoot us an email at professional@travefy.com and let us know which ones you watched, and then we can document that for you. But you'll hear from us in about a week or 2. So just give us a little time so you don't have to reach out to us or anything and tell us you were there because we know you were here. So feel free, wait, like a week or 2, and then we'll get the certificate and the badge out to you. So it'll be really cool. And then you can, have everything out there on your website, email signature, shout it from the rooftops that you were certified.
Sorry to interrupt you. Had a quick side. I
for it.
saw some comments coming in. Can you just say again when the recordings will be available?
Yes. So recordings will be available like right after. So they're pretty much right after. It just takes like 15-20 minutes for them to render. And then just go to travefytrainingcamp.com and they will be on there. So they'll be ready and then they'll be up forever. So I know there's been a lot of questions like how long will they be available? Here's the thing. Here at Travefy, we record everything and keep it forever. So you'll always have access. We'll end up putting it on YouTube next week. But otherwise, right now, you'll be able to find all of them on TravefyTrainingCamp.com. And okay, Missy, 5 o'clock somewhere. It's time for wine. It almost is. We have, okay, I can't do math very quickly. I think we have 7 hours until wine, right? Wait,
no.
Till 3 p.m. It's 10 a.m. now.
3 o'clock.
It's been some time.
It's been a week for you, Stephanie.
Yeah, it has. Oh my gosh. But wine time is coming, it's coming quick. One thing, tips and tricks. So Jody just asked about the tips and tricks. That hasn't happened yet, Jody. You are in the future right now. So you gotta, it will happen today. So that is why you can still register. And the tips and tricks will be on Facebook Live, but register though. So then that way you get a reminder like an hour before when it's coming. So, and if you're having,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you guys are having troubles signing up, just reach out to the support team at professional@travefy.com. They can help you out right now while we're doing this session right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, okay, so the other thing, the last thing I have to mention is okay, you probably already know about this if you've been joining us, but we are releasing next week certification. There, it's going to be very exciting. We have the certification available for Travefy. It's going to be the real deal. Like there, we have training camp certification, which is awesome, but then we're going to have Travefy certification and advanced certification as well. And right now, we actually already have CLIA. So if you're a CLIA member, you can get certified and get elective credits as well. So really awesome there. And then, yes, we already mentioned this, but the recording, we are recording it. The other thing that I want to mention too before I hand it over to Haley here is that we're going to be doing, hopefully we have time for Q&A. We kind of never know. It just depends how much time we'll have at the end. But I'm going to be in the background when Haley's presenting, and I'm going to try to answer your questions. But if you don't get a question answered, that's probably because I'm trying to save it for the end to actually ask Haley live. But also keep in mind that these webinars are very full, which is really awesome. We couldn't be more grateful for that. But unfortunately, though, that also means we can't get to everything. Sometimes, not every time. But so if that's the case, just shoot us a quick email at professional@travefy.com. We also offer one-on-one trainings. We have weekly webinars. I mean, we have so much stuff. So if you watch this today and you're like, I need more, or I want to learn about this more, we have stuff for you. So definitely keep that in your mind. But otherwise, I'll do my best to get all those questions there as well. Oh, okay. Last thing though is trivia. This is what Missy was talking about.
Yep.
Missy's going to be joining us. We're going to get some wine, some beer, some good libations for trivia happy hour. So that's how we're going to round everything out today for this whole training camp.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be so cool. It's going to be awesome. So join us for that. And you can register for that at travefytrainingcamp.com as well. And Missy said her wine is chilled and ready. So is ours,
That's
Missy.
perfect.
Actually, yes, we are ready too. We just checked the fridge today to make sure they're good to
Good.
go.
Yep.
But okay, Haley, I am going to let you take it away now. So go feel
Awesome.
free
I'm
to
going to
share
take it
your
away
screen
from
and
you. I'm going to share my
show
screen.
all your
Yeah.
magic.
Let's show the magic here. Hold on. There we go. All right. Awesome. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. This is my last webinar for Training Camp Week. It's been super fun. So thanks again just for everyone who's joined, who's hung out with us. And I hope to see you all at the happy hour to wrap everything up. But today, I get to show you guys how to build beautiful proposals and itineraries for all-inclusives. This is one of my favorite webinars to do. I just think it's super fun. Who doesn't like an all-inclusive, resort, first off? So I love that. I love talking about this. I'm excited to walk you guys through it. But what I'll do is I'm going to build a proposal. We'll build this together from scratch. So we're going to start from like ground zero. We're going to build a proposal. I'm going to share with you guys all of my little tips and tricks inside of there and how you can do that. We'll convert it over to an itinerary and then talk about sharing and sending and kind of the mobile apps that we have. So that's kind of the flow for today. As I'm going through, if you guys do, have those questions, you can send them over to us. Stephanie's going to try and answer them. But if there's like a ton of people here, which is awesome. So just want to say again, if you guys are not getting your questions answered here, which could happen because there's just so many of you, reach out to professional@travefy.com. The team is on standby. They're there. They're waiting for you. They're happy to help out. So send them a message too if you guys want to get some extra questions answered. All right, so let's dive in and get started here. And I'm showing my Travefy screen right now. This is essentially the page you guys end up on as soon as you get logged in. So for those of you that are new, I just like to do a little general housekeeping here. As soon as you get logged in, this is where you're going to be. And I'm on the trips page. So this is like my homepage or my dashboard, if you will. And little housekeeping things here. Always set up your profile, kind of click on your name there. Here's your profile. I just like to point this out. This goes on every single proposal itinerary that you build. So if you guys are brand new, getting started, make sure you add in all your branding and contact details here. Save in that top right-hand corner too. That is sometimes forgotten. They'll go right back to trips here. That takes me back to my main page. Here you'll see my trips in the center aisle. And then on the left-hand side, I can click on plus new trip. This is where I can choose to build a proposal or an itinerary. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. Down below, you have different filter options here. These are all pretty self-explanatory, but one I always like to mention or just talk about quickly is that filter by status. And in your accounts, if you guys have not found this or stumbled upon it, you'll actually see 3 filters: quote, confirmed, and paid. Those are our defaults, but you can actually edit those and you can create your own. And you'll see I've created my own. They are very much geared towards how I use Travefy. So it's usually to train, you guys. So you can see I have trip templates, proposal templates, training camp items inside of here, my weekend webinar things, and then other sample trips that are actually like full-blown trips. So I've created this. This basically just allows me to get to specific types of trips faster. So here you'll see my training camp items. If I go here, I just have one in there right now since we're towards the end. This is how I can quickly get to a specific type of trip. So I just wanted to point that out. It's something that is oftentimes overlooked, but is a helpful little tool. And we're going to go ahead and dive in now and start building out a proposal. Now, we're going to start off with a proposal just because that's typically the first part of the sales process. And what I'm going to be doing is building one for different resort options in Mexico, but you guys can, create proposals for anything from cruises to FITs and beyond. And if you guys were on Tuesday, you saw me do the cruise one. So this one, all-inclusive, kind of focus, we're going to Mexico. So here we go. I'm going to click on plus new trip. And here's proposal and itinerary. Quick explanation on those differences. For you guys, there's not really a difference. Whenever you click on proposal, whenever you click on itinerary, that is going to take you into our trip builder. So as the user, you guys are the users, you're not going to see much of a difference. Where it's different is for your clients. So when you send them a proposal, they have a big blue button where they can approve it. Once they click that, it automatically converts to an itinerary. And at that stage, your clients can actually get access to our mobile apps and they can download the PDF on their own. You guys will see this all in action today. Just wanted to give you a little spiel on that first. So I'm going to go ahead and click on proposal. This takes me into our awesome, great trip builder. And my internet's a little bit slow. There we go. Here we go. We're going in. This is the trip builder. And at the very top is your nav bar, essentially. So this takes you back to your trips page. Settings is where you go to set up the foundation of your trip. More, this is where you can go to add in travelers, so people to your trip. There's also embed code. So if you guys ever do want to share an itinerary on, a different site, you can actually embed that. Right-hand side, you're going to see PDF preview and send. Those are your sharing options. In the center, the main part of this is where you guys can go to start building out your actual trip. You click on the day and then plus new event. So we're going to start off. And again, this is going to be one for resort options to Mexico. So I'm going to click on settings. I'm going to begin here. I always encourage people to start here. It's really where you go to build that foundation, of that particular trip. I'm going to enter in, trip name here, start date, maybe. I'm actually going to leave that blank. That's kind of one of the tips here. I'm leaving start date blank because later on, it's going to allow me to, change my day titles and kind of create different sections. And you'll see me do that here. I'm going to leave that blank. I'm doing that on purpose. Price, if you guys do want to throw in a price, you absolutely can do that right here. Per person total. I will plug in one just so everybody can see. I'm just going to punch in 5,000 just so you can see where that falls at. Down below that area, you're going to see an area for description. And so this is where you could enter in extra, notes that are important. You can maybe break down some pricing. Maybe you wanted to add in like a form here for them to fill out and make different selections or decisions. Because this is a proposal. I'm going to be, proposing different options. So I'm going to give them a way to actually fill out a form right here. The reason why I always kind of push this area to add in important things, welcome note, thank you note, pricing forms, it shows up at the very top of that itinerary, right below the cover photo. So it's hard to miss. They really can't miss it. Your clients are going to see that information inside of there. And there are other settings in here. I typically don't go through all of these, but if anybody has questions on them, definitely ask us and we'll try and get to those or help out, reach out to support, happy to help. I'm going to change my cover photo next just to kind of walk everybody through that. So I click on change cover photo. This gives me a window where I can search our database. Those are all high quality, high resolution images, royalty free. Upload, you have that option too. I'm sure you guys have your own beautiful photos. You can upload them. You can grab some from a website. You'll see this in action today when we talk about adding in resort options, and then good old copy and paste. So you have those different options in here. What I'll do is just punch in Mexico, beach. That's what I want. I want to be on the beach in Mexico or anywhere tropical. That's where I'd like. So here we go. Change that cover photo. And then on my left-hand side, you can see here, I have day one. And I always encourage people to build out kind of your days. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on plus new day here. We're going to do this a few more times. And now you're seeing day 1 through 4. And I'm going to change these day titles. So I'm going to click on day 1. If I come up here to the center, I press day 1 here, I could punch in a day title. And so this is going to be my resort options. And this just makes it really great and easy for your clients to kind of jump around. So when they're viewing that online itinerary or proposal, they can click on what section they want to focus on. So it's a really kind of a fun way to do this. And I learned this from an actual, advisor, somebody who was using Travefy. So this is going to be optional things to do and see, we'll say. And maybe my third one is going to be something regarding, transportation details, or, maybe you want to put in flight information. You guys can certainly utilize your own language here. You probably have, more better things to say in there. I'm going to plug in destination info for my last one. So you guys can, add in more if you need to. It can be less, whatever. But that is kind of main trick with building a proposal. If you don't need your date set, you can create different sections. And so we'll go up to resort options now, and we're going to start adding items to this actual proposal. And what I'll do first is start by adding in a resort. We're going to do that together. I'll do one manually, and then I'm going to show you the power of saving this to your library and then grabbing items from your library. We're going to be using the library a lot today. So we will dive in. I'm going to click on new event. So I'm in that resort section still, that area still. New event, lodging. And here I'm just going to search for a property. And what you do here, simple, just start by typing in what you need here, LeBlanc Spa and Resort. And I'm looking for the all-inclusive resort here. Let's see. Let me type in all-inclusive. There was a specific option that I wanted, and I know it pops in. Yep, right there. Perfect. Now I'm going to click add to itinerary. And from here, now I can add more information to this. I want to spice this up a little bit. So I'm going to click on the pencil to do that. And instead of saying check-in, right, we're proposing different options. I'm going to say option 1, LeBlanc Spa and Resort. You could, change that title up to if you want a little bit. I'm going to add in some extra details here. So about that resort, this is where, you guys can really shine. You can add in maybe the reason why you are proposing this. You might have your own specific reasons. Maybe you've been there before. You have your own experiences. This is where you could toss those ideas in, and you can just grab this information from the resort too. That's kind of what I did in this case, little copy and paste action. You have your toolbar up here too, guys. So you can add in hyperlinks. So if you wanted to share, like, here's activities you can do or menu items, things like that, you can throw them inside of here. And I also always like to point this out. There's a little table tool inside of here. So this is really great for maybe showcasing different room types. You can also use this to organize flights too. So there's multiple ways. Table tool is really cool, just to kind of show you what that looks like. I'm not going to really create a full one here, but if I wanted to, I could do something like room type, room rate, and then I could plug in, this is that ocean view, and maybe the rate is, I'm just making this up, 200. So you see, you can actually add in a little table just for organization. If you wanted to showcase different room types like that, you can do that. You can add in more columns and rows. You can actually, adjust that text here. So to be center, left, or right, and then trash can takes it all away. So just wanted to kind of mention that little pro tip. I know it's helpful for people. Sometimes you don't see that little table tool. Next, I can add in more details. So here I have some open fields where I can enter in, a time and a confirmation. That's probably more for when this is actually set in stone. If they go with this one, I could go back in and add that. But maybe I will throw in price here. I'm just throwing in random numbers. We're going to throw in that price, and then multimedia. I'm going to go in and add in some multimedia. And here, this is where looks familiar. So this is kind of like that cover photo, but check this out. At the tail end, you guys can embed a video, and I actually have one here. I'm going to embed a video first. This is coming in from YouTube. There you go. And then you can also grab some from a website. And you can bring in 5 images or multimedia pieces. So that includes the video. We're going to grab some more. And what you can do is go out to the actual hotel or resort site, copy that link, paste it inside of here, click on get images, and you can grab some of those images. Now, that doesn't work for every site. Sometimes they protect those things or it doesn't allow you to, or we can't read those images because of the way they are presented on that platform. So just keep that in mind. But a lot of times you'll have great success with this and you can bring in images very quickly. So little time saving tip there. And you can see I can scroll through here. I can grab in some images and let's showcase some rooms here. There we go. Another one. We'll do mostly rooms and this looks like a neat picture. So there you go. You can add in again up to 5. I will save my changes now. And you'll see all of those photos right here. If I wanted to, I can actually adjust these too. So little pro tip, you can showcase whichever one you want to highlight first. You could certainly have that one start just because that image does show up as the biggest one out of all of those 5. That very first one does. So perfect. We have this information added. So now I'm going to click on done editing. And so this is just an example. Here is, my resort option. Now we're going to talk about the library. This is a super important feature. If you guys don't know about your library, it is your database of information that you've created and saved for reuse. And it's sitting right over here right now. The library kind of broken down into 2 items in the trip builder. You're going to see your items and city guides. We're just talking about your items right now. So my items, everything that I've created and saved, you can see them all right here. So how do you save something that you've built on an itinerary or proposal? And you're going to use it again. So the library really save items to it. Like maybe you take people, 90% of the time you are taking people to 3 to 5 different destinations. Maybe you're always proposing this LeBlanc spa and resort. Save it to your library so you don't have to do it again. This helps you guys build proposals and itineraries very quickly. So to save it, I'm going to click on this little pencil. I'm going to go down here to my 3 little dots and save to library. There's your option. When you save, you can organize it with labels. And so labels, think of it as like a folder. It allows you to kind of focus, put things in one bucket. You can easily search for it later. I've already saved my option number 2 here and this number 1. So I'm not going to save this one again. I'm just going to cancel. And then I'm going to show you guys, we're going to bring in my number 2 here. We're going to bring that over. So I'm going over to my library. I'm in the your items area. And what we'll do here is just search for Mexico. I placed everything in this particular folder here, Mexico resorts. And here you can see I have my 3, I have 2. We'll drag and drop this one over. Simple drag and drop. So I'm bringing over, here's my second template. Boom, it's there. That is how fast it happens. You can just drag and drop. This helps you guys build proposals and itineraries quickly. We'll go ahead and add in just a 3rd one for fun. Why not? Let's do that. You can see there's my other one. There you go. So hotel option 1, 2, and 3 on there. Now let's move on to optional things to do and see. And real quick, just want to make a note. If you guys needed to come in, you can see I had a price here. This was a template. You can just come back in. Maybe that adjusted. You can certainly do that. You can adjust the price, or anything that's on here. And then if you needed to, you can always save that to your library again. That's just going to overwrite that item. So next time you bring it over, it's going to have that updated information. So little pro tip right there for you. All right, moving on to optional things to do and see. So here is where you could add in all of the add-ons or just things that maybe you want to suggest for them. What I'm going to do is pull something over from my library and then we'll create something manually too. So we'll go back up here. I'm going to go do Mexico again. And I have Mexico Resort Activity. And let's bring over this oceanside massage. There we go. And then to add something manually, we're going to create that, catamaran charter here. So I'm going to click on plus new event so I can add in this info kind of manually. I click on add. If I wanted to utilize maybe the little cruise icon, I could do that too. So since this is a catamaran, it's like a boat, a ship, I can use that. I might enter in my title here. We'll call this 5-hour catamaran charter. Lost my 5. There we go. I'm going to enter in some notes here. And then I could punch in some specifics. So if I wanted to, I could throw in a departure time. Maybe there's a confirmation number for them. I could toss that inside of here. I could also throw in the amount as well. So there you can add in that info. And just to add more to it, everyone is so visual today. So I always push the pictures, the images, add them in. Everyone loves that. Add in videos, do all the things. So here I'm going to grab in some images. This one is actually coming from a website too. So this is pretty cool. This is Cancun sailing. I'm going to grab just a few pictures that we can use. And that one, oh, I love that. That's one of my favorite photos. There we go. And we'll save here. Oh, actually, I wanted to add in one more thing. I have a video too. We're going to add that in as well. And this one's coming from Vimeo. So I said YouTube earlier. You guys can grab images from YouTube or Vimeo or any other typical hosting site. Saving my changes there. And I love this picture so much. I want this one to be, I just think that's cool. I want that one to go at the very beginning, little drag and drop and done editing. There you go. And you can see I have my little icons a little different, but kind of more fitting for that particular event. All right, moving on down to transportation details. So here we're going to add in some things too from my library. Just a few notes. So if you guys wanted to look up flights, you absolutely could. If you have your date set, you could look up a flight in our system. Right now, I'm just going to be adding in the information kind of manually just to share general details. And so we're going to pull in some things and I'll show you how to do it manually as well. First thing I'm going to bring over is a private transfer. And this is one of those things too. If you guys are going to the same place, using a lot of the same services, this is a good example of something that you could save to your library. That way you're not having to recreate this over and over. And I have a few different kind of options here. So this one, private ground transportation, just little nugget, little picture, some text. I'll bring over another. I think this one's slightly different. Yeah, just more concise, but I put in, the actual destination kind of. So you can do it however you like. We'll go ahead and grab in some flights. I do have some templates for flights. And this is something that I pre-created really specific for today's training. I actually have flights organized in this format. So this is something you guys could do kind of manually. You can actually go inside of here. You can see I just plugged in the title, so flight information. And then I kind of had a few ideas on where they're obviously leaving from and times that they wanted to leave. So I suggested these departure and arrival flights for the 1st and the 7th. So this is just an example of what you can do. You could leave it as simple as that. I have seen people just create little templates that say something simple like this. When they're doing a proposal, round trip airfare is included, from A to B, you list those destinations. So just to give you some ideas. And again, new event, if you choose flight up here, you do see this where you can enter in a date. Now, this was just at the proposal part. We're pretending like we don't exactly know when. We have an idea, possibly the 1st. Maybe you want to throw in multiple options, you can do that. What I'm doing now, though, is adding this info manually. So right here, I go to add flight manually. And that's how you get this window where you can plug in, flight details, and then you can list that information here, however you like. I'm going to actually just remove that here. So you can see I have those different options. And here's my little delete. There it goes. Now, the last area here is destination information. And this brings me to the other part of your library. This is city guides. I love talking about city guides. This is a really cool feature. And basically, it is your other kind of backup library, right? It is our pre-built guide on 45 plus destinations. Might be a little off there, a little bit more. There's 650-ish destinations inside of there you guys can look up. And this includes kind of pre-built templates. It's going to have awesome photos for you already and really cool content. So you can just drag and drop them over. How you do this is you just search for that city, and then you'll see here a bunch of different results. And I'm going to explain what's going on. So we're going to go to Cancun, just that kind of region here. This first guide, this includes all of these sections below it. So you're going to see the city, top 10. There are 10 things inside of there. DNC has 15, dining, cafes, bars, shopping, tourist info. There's a ton of information here. If I wanted to, I could add that all, drag and drop. You guys can always remove items too from that if you bring everything over. Now, I know sometimes that's overwhelming. You don't want to bring over everything. That's perfectly fine. You can pick and choose. You guys are in full control. You can pick and choose. Let's say I just want to talk about the city here, and check this out. Here is Cancun, here's some really beautiful photos. Looks like I have a little mess up there. We'll get that fixed. Have beautiful photos inside of there. If I wanted to bring in top 10, I could bring over all of these items. Let me show you what that does. Here's my top 10 right there. Again, if I wanted to take some things out of here, pencil icon, that's what those little red dots are. You can delete them. And now another cool tip, let me scroll down on this right-hand side. Here's my top 10. Then if I keep scrolling, here is my do and see. So if you really wanted to, you can actually see beforehand what you guys are bringing in. Maybe you want to focus on just, the Mayan ruins. You know that they love that. They want to do that. You could enter that information, bring it in. You could also click on the little plus icon if you're not a fan of drag and drop. If I click on plus, it's to the right. It adds that to the actual day. It's at the bottom. There you go. The dolphins in Cancun. And remember, anything that you guys bring over, whether it is a city guide, a cruise, a tour, anything, you can always edit that information, add in your own 2 cents. So for example, if you click on the little pencil right here, if I wanted to add in more photos, I could, or maybe to adjust the text, you can. If you're doing that, and if you guys know you're going to reuse that item, save it to your library. Save it to your library. That way you don't have to redo it. All right. So this is kind of basics 101 with my hot tips on how to build a proposal. We're going to get into now sending and sharing, but I forgot one thing. I just have one extra little tip. So info and docs, I got to have a shout out here. Info and docs, this is an area maybe that doesn't fall onto a particular date if there is one set, or it's just kind of a great spot to place those items that aren't really related to these other topics here, but they're important, like trip insurance reminder. So great spot for this. It shows up at the end of the actual proposal. And so I'm just going to bring over my little trip insurance reminder here, my little template drag and drop. So just wanted to call that out. That's kind of a great spot for things related to that. Maybe your cancellation policy, throw that inside of there. COVID information, great spot for that. All right, now we're going to get into the sending this actual proposal. So to do that, you're going to go up here. You have the good old PDF option. You can certainly send that off if anybody wants a hard copy. You can preview before you click on send. So when you are going to send it though, you're going to go here to get trip link. That's going to copy that trip link. You can paste it in a personal email, or you can choose email invite. So before you get to those, like I said, I always can encourage previewing. So I'm just going to preview here and then kind of walk you through that process of sharing and sending and what this looks like for your client. So essentially, this is my shareable proposal. You can see it here. This is everything that we just created. So left-hand side, check this out. This is what I love about proposals. I can, as a traveler myself, I can see, okay, I want to jump to those optional things to do. And see, I want to go back up to my resort option. So it's just nicely organized. I could jump around, check out that destination info. I can expand these photos here too. So everything's interactive, really cool, awesome, fun way to view my proposal. Now, when you're ready to send, you're going to go here to send. You can do, again, get trip link, email invites. We're going to do email invite. Here you enter in their email and you can include a custom message. And when you send this off, they get a branded email that says, hey, welcome to your trip, basically. You can include your custom message. There's a big blue button that says view online. They're going to click that, and that's where they get to hear. They see this, and now they can click on approve if they want to approve that. But how do they narrow down their selection? So wanted to mention, how can they communicate with you what they'd like to go with? A few different ways you guys can do this. Some I've heard that you guys have your own kind of methods of approving a proposal. So you don't have to use our system, but everything is integrated with your Travefy account. So we try to make it really easy. So here they could actually chat you. They could say, hey, I want to go with option X, Y, and Z. You can kind of narrow down things in real time, live. That's going to go here in this discussion area. You can see hi, so that you can actually message with them in that little web chat and kind of narrow down options. That way, when they're ready, they can click on approve. The other option is to add in a form link here. And so I actually created a form prior to this, specific to this particular trip for these clients. And this is something that could be reused for others. You can just tweak it if you need to. I'm going to add that here in settings, and I have the link already here, and I'm just going to highlight this. I click on insert link. There's my link. There we go. Save changes. So now when I preview that, I'm just going to refresh. You'll see this change. There you go. They can actually click on this to enter in their different selections here. There you go. Boom. And at the end, they get a little recap. So this is just another way to narrow down on those options. This is automatically going to go back to you. You'll be notified when you do get a response to that form. Now we're going to approve this and we're going to get into converting. So I'm going to click on approve. And this is, kind of walking through that client experience. So they will see this. I'm excited. You're ready to approve your proposal, title, total, your name, email address. You guys can include your own custom terms and conditions on proposals. That is a settings feature that you can set up. Count settings area. Check that out. They'll click approve when they're ready. And it's going to give you a good old congratulations kind of success screen. At this time, your travelers are receiving an email with a copy of this proposal. You too are being notified. So you're actually going to get an email from us that says, hey, so-and-so has approved proposal X, Y, and Z. And this has now changed to approved. You're going to see that reflected in your Travefy. So I'm going to back up here to my main page. There's that Smith family all-inclusive proposal that we just created. Here you can see the badge has changed to approved, and you guys have a hard copy of that right here too. So there is your little record of that. And you can see the type has changed to itinerary. At any point, you can manually change this to proposal or itinerary, however you like. Whenever you do change it to itinerary, just remember they get access to that mobile app. So if that's important, you guys can just change it to there right away, and you can approve in a different, process if you'd like. I'm going to click on edit. We're going to just finalize this just to kind of give you guys that full fix inside of here. So essentially you're going to go in, maybe you're going to change the title. So this is no longer a, proposal, Smith family, all-inclusive, vacation. You might adjust here, the actual description area, say, hey, welcome to Cancun. I'm just going to leave that for right now. I'm going to enter in a start date though. So let's go over here, and they're going to stick with my December 1st departure. So it's like a winter escape now. So there we go. I save my changes. So you can change that up. You could go in and remove those date titles, or you can adjust them. So here for where you have resort options, since this is kind of the first day, maybe I just take those out completely, and you'll see the date gets set December 1st. And if you'd like to, you could add in your flights here and kind of remove those options, of course, that they didn't go with. So here, if I wanted to, little pencil, delete. And I'm going to show you guys a cool little tip here. If I edit right here, so I'm just going to say this again, because this is kind of newer. Click on edit, and you can actually do things kind of bulk inside of here. So if I wanted to remove multiple items, I can do that. I can also save multiple items to my library. I can duplicate them. So there's some bulk editing options inside of here. Now I don't want to actually remove all of them. I'm just going to, I like this one. We're going to remove that one, and I'm going to delete this right there. Yes. Saved. Done. There we go. So there's my option 2. And maybe now you're just going to replace this with, check-in. And then I will add in a flight here just to kind of walk everyone through that. I'm going to stay on this date that this is, they're going to be checked. They're flying out and then jumping into their awesome resort on the same day. So I'm going to go to new event. I go to flight, and here it's pretty simple. You just type in your actual flight or your airline and then the flight number. And this one was, let's see here. I think 1964 is what I had. We'll find out. But either way, you'll get an idea. So yep, ATL to Cancun, add to itinerary. Now, since I'm adding this second, so I added this first, you can see my flights go down here. Easy way to rearrange this. Edit again. You guys can do so much inside of here. Drag, drop it up, drag, drop it up. There we go. Done. So I can adjust things easily. And what's super great too, at the itinerary stage, your clients are going to get those automatic flight updates. That's that little green check right here. And they can opt in for push notifications. So when there are gate changes, things like that, they can opt in for those push notifications, and they'll get that on their mobile device, which we're going to talk about here shortly, because we're kind of at the tail end of this. So let's pretend like I organized everything, inside of here. I, adjusted the actual day titles here, took out their extra flights, all the things, right? You cleaned it up, you tweaked it for your clients. Now we're going to send it off. Now that link that they have does automatically update, but I like to encourage sending out that trip invite. This email invite option just kind of gives them that formal invitation. It's going to have, again, that beautiful cover photo you selected, your title, all your contact information, your signature, and it's going to have two big blue buttons. They can't miss them, guys. It's going to say view online and view an app. So they can actually get access to that mobile app right from that email. And I'm going to show you here. So let's pretend like we did that. We sent it out. They click view online. This is what they'd see. So this is where that itinerary is different than the proposal. They have PDF up here, so they can always print this off on their own. And they also have access to that mobile app. Now, we are on a desktop, so we're seeing a little message here, and we're just trying to push them to open up that email on their mobile device, because that is going to directly connect them to the Trip Plans app. The Trip Plans app, guys, is for your clients. That's what they're going to use to view their details. We're going to talk about that here. We'll talk about mobile apps now. So let me show you. This is the app for your clients. So it's called Trip Plans. The icon looks like this. And from that email or from the shareable itinerary, they're going to have access. Everything's integrated. They will have access. Whoops. They'll have access inside of there. I'm going to scroll down so you can actually see here too. Keep going. There's my little demo. So they can see your trip plans. Doesn't say Travefy inside of there. Has all your branding, contact info. They click on the days. They can view the information. All the info is there. And what's cool is if you guys did attach any sort of documents, everything's on their app. So no more going back and forth and re-emailing things. You can just say, check the app. And they can communicate with you too. So there is a little icon right here, and you can, little chat icon, couldn't think of the name. You can click that. You can see what is presented. They can talk to you basically, and you guys have a mobile app too. That is called Travefy Pro. It looks pretty much the same. If you guys don't have this and you have Travefy, just go in there and download it. It's called Travefy Pro, and you guys can get that. You can view all your trips on the go whenever you need, and you can communicate with your clients as well. And I do want to shout out here too. So just one little thing last for trip plans. You guys can share this with travelers, tripplans.co. This is something, for travelers that we built so they can access everything, and this kind of walks them through how to do this and how it works. So if you guys want to see this, let me know. We'll probably post it here shortly when we get into Q&A. But this is what you guys have to give to your clients if they have questions on how to get that app too. We have a little page for them. All right. And my last tip for you all, so we're kind of rounding it out here. My last tip for proposals and itineraries, if you guys are taking people to certain destinations, over and over again, create a trip template, save that inside of here. You can see I have my live webinar trip templates. I have my proposal trip templates. I have them inside of here. So save a template, and what you can do is click on it. And then let's say, John Smith came in and went on this trip, but Sally Johnson's coming in and she wants to go to the same place. Copy that and then just tweak it for that client. So just click copy. This is going to go right up at the very top of your page. There it is. You can see it says copy. And so now all I got to do is go in and adjust it for that client and send it off. Fast, done. There you go. So just create copies, utilize that feature. It's really helpful for, things that you're constantly doing. All right. And that's it. I am done, Stephanie. You can come on back in here for some good old Q&A.
There's so much. Okay. So hopefully, again, I hope I'm getting to everyone, but I know that there might be some, but okay. I've been saving some for you specifically, Haley here.
Cool.
So the first one, okay. So this one, a couple of people asked, and how do you, this one goes hand in hand. These are two different questions, but it'll be the same answers.
Okay.
How do you approve multiple options? So like when you have the multiple options of resort, but then someone else asked how you can handle that for a group, which would be like the same way that you're probably going to show.
So a few different ways you could do it. And I'll show one, I'll show both here, but the first way I'm going to go back in and change this to a proposal, and we'll go back in and edit. So if you are previewing this actual trip, let me get rid of some of these tabs. There's the approval button again. One way is to use our web chat. This is kind of that real-time feature. You guys can communicate with each other quickly. If you're working inside of your Travefy, you can narrow down your options that way. And so as you guys are talking, you could go in and remove things. And then when they're ready, they can click on approve. So that's option kind of number one. The other option is to create a form. And I'm going to take you kind of back into my forms area so you can all see what that looks like. I'm going to go to my library. That's where your forms live. And I'm going to filter. I'll see, grab all my forms here. And I built one specific for this for training camp. I think it's similar to this one, but this will give you an idea. So this form I built to capture those different options that they wanted. So I asked for name and email address, of course, and then which option are they interested in booking. So here I'm going to click on the little pencil, and you can see I've chosen multiple choice. So this is how I build out that form. Here are my options. 1, option 2. You can simply click on add an option here, and I could put in that option number 3. I had 3 on there technically from today. XYZ. I don't quite remember my resort name. Blue, check mark to save it. I can delete them anytime. And then here I can say select one or select many, and I would make that required, of course. So this is essentially what I did. And same thing here for, activities. So I went in, I asked them, hey, what activity do you guys want to go with? I do multiple choice and I list them out right here. A little tip for you, if you wanted to, let's say you have different resorts and you wanted to showcase like, hey, these are the different activities with resort option A, resort option B. You could use the table tool right here for that. So I could go in and say, let's say I had 3 different resorts and this was, resort 1, resort 2, resort 3. So you could list their names completely. You can make them center, and then I could, list the activity here. And it's just to give them a view, a quick kind of rundown on, okay, right, that was the spa activity that was with this resort. There's yoga, a yoga paddling on a paddleboard. That's with my resort option number 2. The catamaran is with number 3. So you can kind of break down selections there. That is that little extra area here. And I'll show you how I got there again, guys. That is, if I close out of this, I'm going to go back in. That is right here, additional text or instructions. So you can just add in some more, details there. And now what I did is I grabbed this link, share, and I grabbed the form link just by clicking on this little blue box. So it's copying it to my clipboard. And then you can go back into that trip and just simply add it there. And that was this guy, I think. We'll see. In the settings area, this is where I placed that right here. Actually have it still inside of there. So little hyperlink. There's that link. You can add that in there. And so when they are viewing it, they can actually make their selections. They can fill it out. Now, remember, when they do fill this out and they submit it to you, that is going to automatically notify you. You'll be notified. So then you could go in, approve that, have them approve it. You can communicate with them. That web chat's going to be super helpful. And once they do share that information with you, this will show up then on that form in the responses area or in the contact, on that contact actually. So that is how you can narrow down on different selections. And we certainly hope to kind of go forward with this too and make this better and easier for you guys to use.
Yeah, awesome. Another thing, can you quickly share group tagging? Because I know that there's been
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple different questions that are kind of around that, and I know that this will help answer those.
For sure. Yeah. So group tagging, I'm just jumping back into this one here that we were working on, or maybe not. I can't quite remember. I'm getting all of them confused. But here, let's do group tagging. So first step is, well, let me explain it. So if you guys have a big group and maybe you have, mom and dad are flying in from, Nebraska, and then we have our New Jersey kids coming out to their meeting. So what you want to do is add everybody to the trip first, and then we're going to tag them to it. And that's going to create a unique itinerary for each traveler. So I just want to tag, mom and dad to their flights coming out of Nebraska. And then I'm going to tag the kids to their flights coming out of New Jersey. And so when I send this off to them, it automatically creates a unique trip for each traveler. And they're going to see just those flights that are just for them, but they'll see everything else for, that is for everyone essentially. So I go up to more. I'm going to go to people, and we're going to add in some contacts here. So Tommy Training Camp, he's coming on in. Let's say that's going to be the son. We're going to add dad here. Dad's going to be my John demo. There we go. We'll just throw in 2 to kind of showcase this. So you can see there they are. No invites have been sent. Awesome. We're not ready for that yet. Let's say this flight here. Okay, they're coming from ATL. So this is going to be Tommy. And I'm going to click on the pencil. I go down here. There's a section for people. You can see everybody or only specific people. That's what I want. I want this option because these flights are just specific to Tommy. There we go. Done. And then I'm going to do that for the arrival as well. So pencil, only specific people. John demo, or excuse me. Nope. I want to do Tommy. My bad. There we go. Same person. There we go. So now I'm just going to tag one. That's how you tag though. Now let me preview this. And so as the Travefy user, you guys are going to see, everyone up here. Okay. That is normal. I'm in here. That's me. There's John. There's Tommy. So what I could do once you send this off, you're actually going to see, this change. So let me show you this trip. So here's everyone's. Everybody can see all the details. Now remember, I tagged Tommy. So let's check out John. And you can see there are no flights, right? So that's how tagging works. So it creates a unique itinerary for each traveler. If I had tagged John, he would see those flights, but I tagged Tommy. So let's just see what Tommy's looks like here. There are those flights and then the details for everyone. And so everything else is automatically defaulted to show for everyone on the trip. You have to tag a person to it for it to become, unique and visible to just that person. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, absolutely. Allison said group tagging, brilliant. Said right.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, so another one. There's so many. I'm just trying to see which one. Okay, so another one that really came in is dates. So, okay, let's say how you were adding it. It sounds like a lot of people accidentally end up adding dates and then they can't delete those dates. So can you show how to do that?
Yeah. And we'll go into this copy here. And so I'll set a date. And I think hopefully I'm understanding this right. So let's say there's these extra days here that don't have anything in it. I just added 3. Is that right?
Well, I think it's more like just deleting the trip start date in the trip settings.
Oh.
Yeah, like that. But you should also show the other one because that's also helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll delete a day, but then I'll remove the dates completely again. So here I could, March 28th. I can just click right here, 3 little dots, and I can delete the day. So that's how you guys can delete a day. And you're seeing no events here. So this does not show up for your clients. This is for you because this is a trip builder. And I have days down here with nothing inside of them. So we say no events here just so you guys have the option to add things if needed. That's why it shows up for you. This does not show up for your clients. If I remove them all, you won't actually see that anymore. There you go. It's gone. Okay. Now, if I wanted to remove these dates completely, that is in settings. Little tip here, settings, or just click right there, takes you into the same place. And here's my trip start date, delete, save, and those are gone. So hopefully that's what you needed.
Awesome. Yeah, Trish said one time she used the wrong year and ended up with a bazillion empty dates. Yes, I've done that too. So watch for that if ever. Here. And it's really easy to fix.
Yeah, watch. I'll mess this up. Let me just go out a few months.
It gets crazy.
Check this out. So, did I go back in time?
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
I'm in 2022. Oh, I thought it would add more dates. Trying to get it to,
must have
there we go.
All of them. Yeah, there it is.
I was like, I'm trying to get it to actually, so you can see, oh my gosh, what do I do? Easy, guys. You have all these dates here. What you would do is scroll just to the bottom. Click on, see that January 20th. I know my little icon is kind of covering that. January 20th. Click on it right here. Delete that day. Boom.
Boom.
So
that. Yeah, definitely make sure you scroll down. Yeah. Because I've seen that question where people will, like, especially if you send like a confirmation in the date or something just gets read wrong or, and sometimes people will be like, I have all these dates now. And it's just that you just have to keep scrolling and then delete that last one. Yeah.
And I've seen it where sometimes you accidentally are in settings and you set the wrong like year here. And so you accidentally kind of push that out, or either way, you have like one way up here, one way down here. Yeah. Scroll down to the bottom of it, delete that day, and that will remove all those blank empty days.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely watch for that because since we don't specify the year, sometimes it can be like that October 9th could be 2024 and you'd
Yeah.
never know. Um,
You just got to click into it to see it. That's
yeah.
all.
And it would help. There's a one Robin had asked here really quick is there a way to add a section without a date in addition to having dates displayed? And there currently is not. However, that's really
Mhm.
good feedback and something that our team has looked into. I don't know
Mhm.
what like a timeline would look like on that, but it is definitely something we are aware of. That would be really nice to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's on our radar.
oh yeah, for sure. And okay,
Mhm.
so another question, and there are a couple people that were asking about this is the statuses you have. Can you kind of go over
Mhm.
that's kind of a hot tip is
Is it?
statuses?
Yeah,
Can you
I
explain
know.
it?
I usually showcase this in my trainings. So yeah, a little hot tip for you all here. Statuses. So I just like to explain this as it is a way for you guys to quickly get to certain types of trips. You can think of status as like creating a folder. And basically, you will start off if it's your first time with quote confirmed and paid. You will see that. You can actually edit and you can see here, I can adjust my titles. You can adjust your titles, you can remove them, and you can add in a new item. So let's just call this training camp items. Done. You'll see it's right there. You can also, I think you could rearrange them. So there's your little rearrange button. So I can move these around too. And essentially, we'll click on that trip here. In this trip summary on this right-hand side, you'll see status right here. So I can choose where I'd like that to kind of live at. I can do training camp items. And now if I wanted to quickly get to that trip, I just go to training camp items. There it is. That's all.
Boom. So cool. So awesome. I think that's really it. I know that there's other questions in here and I really apologize, but we would be here forever, which would be fun. Really good time. But Oh, okay, wait. There is one more actually. I'm gonna have one more
Yeah.
question. So, Joseph was asking questions, and I know Scott went over this yesterday in I can't remember some webinar, but it's really important, and it's the international dateline repeat dates and settings.
Yes.
Can you just briefly show that? Because so,
Let me show that.
and we like to point this out because you have to be really careful with this option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you kind of talk about it.
So basically, if you guys are having travelers cross the international date line, this is the only time where you would check this box. This is a very rare window. There's a
Mhm.
very tiny area actually, and it's usually like from I'm gonna
Yeah, what are those little
picture
islands?
this New Zealand, like the Rarotonga Islands, like down
Yeah.
by Australia, like down there. If you're going from Australia to the Rarotonga Islands, that's
And
where
it's
you
like if
actually
you're going
cross the date
back in
line.
time, right? So it's like it's
Yeah.
not like when you're going like cuz Joseph had said like going to Hawaii and coming back, but like that's
No,
still it's not
you're
it's
not crossing the international date line in
exactly,
that
yeah.
situation. Look it up. The best thing I can say is like if you're like, where's the international date line? Google it. Just Google it. I think that's probably the best thing. This is something that you do not. This is uncommon. This is really there's a rare kind of place and time where you only check this. So this is for just crossing the international date line.
Yeah, and Trish said New Zealand, Australia will mess you up. Yeah, but even like some of those still aren't actually. It is. It's really weird. It doesn't happen often, so that's why we
Mhm.
always like to say most of the time you don't need this. There's
Yeah.
some agents, some users that we have who specialize in that area,
Hmm.
and that's why we created this was because of those users.
Yeah.
But if you do turn it on, it will mess up your itinerary and it'll make it look really confusing. The good thing is I don't want to scare you because all you have to do is uncheck it and it fixes it. But just to be aware that most likely you don't usually need to use that. If you do have any questions or you think, that something's incorrect, just let us know and we can look at it.
And a good gauge, I think, would be if your client's flights are taken off on the 5th and they're landing on the 4th, you're going back in time, kind of like
Mm,
you're probably in that area.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But well, this has been good. That was like perfect timing. I think this is the best time we've done. Look, the last day and we finally have it figured out,
Yeah. Perfect.
but okay. So one thing though, I'm going to take over screen sharing because I just want
Oh,
to
yeah. Do it.
share our last last couple sessions of the day. So, okay, we talked about happy hour, which is today. Very exciting. But our next session coming up though is Travefy tips and tricks, and it's actually going to be on Facebook Live. So, if you signed up, you'll get notified, but it's really just go to our Facebook page, and we will be on there. We like to throw in a random Facebook Lives, just to kind of play it, toss it up a little bit. But it'll be really cool. We did this last year, and we have a lot of really great, just random. It'll be random. It's not going to be specialized for any types of travel. It's just using Travefy to the best. So
it's really great. I would join that in, be on that Facebook Live, guys. It's going to be super awesome, really great insider tips and helpful use tips on tons of different things in Travefy. So like Stephanie said, it's not specific to a type of travel. It is really like product kind of focused and how you use it in all of our really cool tips.
yeah, it's going to be a good time. But yeah, so join us for that. And then we're only going to have one more session after that. I think it's cruises. It would be cruises coming up next with Kendra, I believe is what it is.
Yep.
Hope I'm correct in that, but
No,
yes.
FIT. She's doing the FIT.
Oh, FIT. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we already did
Yep,
cruises.
that's
Yes.
okay.
FIT. Yes. It's going to be FIT later. But otherwise, definitely again, shoot us an email if you need any clarification on things or want extra help. Let us know. And thank you so much again for joining us. And thank you, Haley.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thank you. Thank you guys
Good
for having me.
times.
Have a great rest of your day.
See ya.